Is it started? I don't know. Must be. All right. Thank you for joining us today. And today we're talking about staying motivated with the masters. And you know what? We all have crossroads in our lives where something comes up and we don't really know how to handle it. And I was just talking to Diane shortly about this before we even joined the Hangout. You know what? Don't reinvent the wheel. That's what we were just literally saying, and it's so on key with what we're sharing today because we all think that we're so unique. And I heard this like a couple of weeks ago from Brennan Bouchard. So I'll share that in a minute, but before I do, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Jody Naley from beautiful Quesnel, British Columbia, and it looks like it might actually be sort of sunny today. Yay! And do you want to introduce yourself, Di?
Sure. I'm Diane Klein from Calgary, Alberta, Canadian as well. And I'm so inspired and motivated today, Jody. I'm so excited to start this. I'm online to empower people, you know. I just want to be here to empower people. I think I got an amazing awakening this morning, so let's do it.
You and me both. That is exactly where I'm at too. Where today I just feel fresh, and you know what we've been studying and reading about in the last couple of weeks is put the past behind you. If you need to celebrate some celebrations from the past, then do so. But if you need to let go of some things from the past, do that. Look forward to your future and stay present in the moment. And like I said, I've been watching Brennan Bouchard, and if you're not following him on YouTube, you need to do that. He has some wonderful tips and ideas and guides and just motivation. He's probably one of my favorite ones that I like to listen to, one of his 10 or 12-minute little spiels to get myself motivated so that I'm in the right space so I can help and motivate other people. And the one thing that he talked about that kind of stuck with me and is really on topic with today is the fact that we all are unique people, but we shouldn't think that we're so unique that other people haven't gone through the same thing we are right now. So whatever your struggles are, whatever your problems are, whatever's just not clicking for you, and like I'll share some of my stuff from my past. You know, I met and married probably too young. Wasn't really my high school sweetheart. I was in high school and he had already graduated. And, you know, we had two beautiful children. We got divorced. We had really struggled with custody issues probably for the next five years. Then I met a new spouse. We have two more children together. And our house burned down. You know, there's all sorts of things that kind of do. And then when we rebuilt a house, we had to move 5 times here in the last 5 years to search for work. We were work chasing. And then we finally came back to where we are home. And the thing is that, and this is what Brennan Bouchard talks about, you know, all of those instances aren't really unique. Okay? There's been other people who have, you know, lost a home, whether it's back to the bank or literally like burning down like myself. And there are other people who have gone through divorces. There are other people who have had estranged family situations. And that just kind of goes on. And you know what? We are unique to who we are, but the problems that we all go through have probably been faced at one point or another by what I call masters of success, because to become successful, they had to overcome those things. And you can stay motivated by, I don't know, there's a ton of different ways that we'll talk about here in a minute. But did you want to comment on that, Diane?
Sure, I'd love to, Jody. I'm with you too. My past has been like quite something. I'm with the same husband though, and we did go through the last 6 years of sobriety. And if anybody will ever tell you that's easy, they're lying, because it's not. There's ups, there's downs, there's arounds, and there's hills to crawl over. But the idea is to stay persistent. And for me, I think the turning point was when I decided to use it to my benefit and say, hey, if I could show other people that we did this and they can do it too. I know there's tons of people out there going through the same stuff. So will never tell me or convince me that any person out there who's successful, any master at what he's doing, did go through stuff, because we all do and they all did. But the idea and the key is to stay persistent and stay within the game and just push through. And I just did a video this morning. Motivation. What is your why? Like, what is your why of where you want to go? Where do you want to go? Do you even know? Do you have the goal in mind? Do you have the end in mind? You know. There you go, Joe.
And, thanks. And hi, Eugenia, and hi, Sharon, for joining us. We just basically have started in. We're on Principle 37 from Jack Canfield's book, and it's Stay Motivated with the Masters. And I'm just going to kind of touch on a point here that Jack says, and that is, you can learn virtually anything that you want or need to know. So both Diane and I have given some examples of struggles that we've had in our past, but we've learned from them, and we're pretty free and easy to share what we've learned, because for myself, I know that anything that I've learned and can make it somewhat easier for someone else, then I want to do that. And the one thing that he talks about is time. Okay, this is probably the number one excuse that a lot of people say, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to read that. I don't have time to listen to that. I don't have time, and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, on a soapbox. But the thing is that, you can fit in this motivational speaking and listening anytime during your day. I'm a stay-home mom, but I work full-time here at home. So I put in my little earphones, and I've shared this before. More than reading, I like listening to a book reading, and I'll just have it on in the morning while I'm getting the kids ready for school and doing lunches and stuff like that, so that I'm always continually putting that into my head. Now, what if you work? Okay, so while you're going to work or while you're driving home, any type of situation where you're going to be in your car for hours, that's a great time to learn something new. And I think it was Keisha who said the other day, and I got to find this. Of course, we sell on eBay and Amazon, so one of you ladies will probably point me in the direction as soon as I say this. But she talks about having a pillow, like a, what'd she call it, Diane?
It was a speaker pillow, and yes, I'm getting you one of those.
Yeah. So I don't quite know how those work, but I want one.
Yeah. She's mentioned that before, and I believe it's when you go to sleep, you just put on a switch and you attach your iPod or whatever it is, your electronics to it, and then it's a speaker inside your pillow.
Yeah. And I don't know what you guys like to listen to. I already said Brendan Bouchard, but why don't the three of you share one of your favorite people who you like to listen to?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Sharon.
How are you today?
We can't hear you very well.
Oh,
there
that'll
we go.
do it. How about now?
Absolutely.
One of the people I really like to listen to is Les Brown. He's very motivational and inspiring, and he always give you good tips, great information, and he's always positive. And having a pillow and listening to Les when you're going to sleep, wow, that will really get your mind right for the next morning when you get up, because that will be the top thing on your mind. They say whatever you're thinking about or doing when you go to sleep is is gonna what you're gonna dream about, what you're gonna think about. So if I'm listening to a motivational speaker as I fall asleep, guess what? That's what I'm gonna dream about. And I'm looking forward to finding that pillow, and I've heard about it before. I never
I bet
really.
you Diane's probably looking on the computer right now and put it into our chat.
I will do that after I share who I'm listening to.
Yeah, but That would be awesome, because that will definitely help you to have your right mindset when you wake up, and it will get you in the frame thinking, okay, what do I have to do for the day? What time do I have set up for each task? Now, use your timer to stay on task. Using your timer will help you to complete all of your tasks if you do it within the time frame that you have set, because you have already calculated this for your day. And then having the right mindset to go along with it. And just because you're listening to the audio too, don't forget you still got to read, or listen to another audio, motivational audio. Jody likes to listen to the books as they're being read. You can do that too. The key thing here is you need to increase your knowledge, you need to increase your skills, you need to stay motivated, you need to be able to help your team, and all of this will help.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome, Sharon. Actually, right now I am listening to Danny Johnson. I have her book, and I also am listening. She has a radio show, and she became a millionaire, I think, when she was 21 or 23. So she's somebody I'm following right now, and I get so inspired listening to her. But I love Liz Jones.
And Danny Johnson, that's Dani, right?
Correct. Yeah.
For people looking that up. And is it Johnson or Johnston?
It's Johnson, Johnsson. And actually, she offers this First Steps to Wealth right on her website there. She offers this book. All you have to do is pay for the shipping, and I paid $7 for this.
Mhm.
Awesome.
That was, matter of fact, Diane, the very first book that we read when we started the book club last year was Danny Johnson. The book
Oh,
that you have, that was the first book we read.
awesome. Awesome.
And what I like when you kind of follow these people is, you know, kind of whatever you want to be, you know, like first of all, like we've been talking and figuring out what your purpose is and stuff like that. And you can actually, you know, go through and find so many people who have gone through the same thing. So if you're looking for, you want to be a writer or you want to be a speaker, you know, that's my passion is speaking. If you want to be an entrepreneur, a mompreneur, you know, you just want to be a better parent. There are so many people who can really motivate you in those ways. And I think it's awesome and amazing that when you're ready for it, God supplies it. So just be aware of what's going on around you. And if you see, because I remember a couple of years ago when The Secret was coming out and I didn't know what it was, right? And all of a sudden, when I saw, because I actually have a heart condition, so when I found out I had my heart condition, I thought, I am not going to take pills. So I need to find a book that will help me in my self-healing. And all of a sudden, The Secret kept popping up all over the place. And I'm like, okay, that's it. Thank you, God. That's the book I need. And you know what? It was the book that did help me. To this day, I was diagnosed about 7 years ago with a heart condition. And to this day, I have not taken one single heart pill. And the last time I went in for my last exam, they found that everything was perfectly normal. So, you know, I just praise and thank God for supplying what I needed at that time. And you have to be open to those signs. So how about you, Eugenia? What are you reading?
I am reading the Book of Principles as well as The Secret again. And I follow up Tony Robbins. I listen at him quite often. If I don't have the book, I'm always searching for a video and I play as I am working. And I do resonate with the things that he says, the things that he believes in. And it's so empowering to have somebody who's always putting something positive in your mind, especially when you're divorced and you're carrying the thing all by yourself, your house, your kids, the education of your kids and everything. Sometimes you feel overloaded with the load of things that you have to carry, especially trying to be a good role model for your kids. And Tony has been just a huge blessing in my life. I mean, every time I felt like I needed something, I placed the video and it was just what I needed. Then I love to read the Bible. Every time I need a specific word, I don't have my mom either. And my mom was my role model, was the role model in my life. And so every time I need to talk to her or I need some inspiration from God, I just open the Bible and there's the answer. God is always talking to me. He's always showing me the way, showing me the where do I have to go, which path do I have to take. So as single parents, single moms, single dads, nurture your life, nurture your soul, nurture your spirit, and always follow somebody whom you respect or resonates in your life with the type of person that you are. You will find a good and an excellent source of nurturing yourself. Go back to you, Jody.
Thank you. And yes, I love Tony Robbins too. You know, and he always kind of has that bit of a shock factor when he throws in a couple swear words here and there. And you're like, what happened? So, you know, I think why I love him is that he definitely has that no nonsense approach. He definitely is not shy of telling you that what you are doing to yourself, you know, is bad or it sucks or you need to change it. And he's very emphatic about that kind of stuff. And I love that too. And one thing that on here, just as I'm, you know, looking at the book here a little bit, that it says that audio tapes really can unleash your creativity. And listening to those, you know, I've been listening to a healing one the last couple of weeks too. And when I was listening to it today, or I think it was yesterday, and I thought, okay, the lady on it who was reading the book said something that I'm like, what did I miss? So I went back about 2 or 3 chapters in the book, and then all of a sudden all this stuff that I didn't really hear it the first time because I don't think I was ready for it. And then all of a sudden when I went back, and I've been listening to it the last couple of days where it's talking about exercising and other things, and just what you were saying, Eugenia, about, I think it was the other day when you need to cleanse your chakras and stuff like that. And I wasn't ready to receive it maybe a week or 2 ago because obviously my mind just kind of went whoosh right over it. And then just in the last day or 2, it's like just been kind of hitting me like, oh, there it is. That's what I needed. That's what God and, you know, my spirit guides were looking to teach me. But for whatever reason, I wasn't accepting of it a couple of weeks ago, but in the last 2 days I have been. So that's another thing in the process of, you know, when you listen to audio tapes, well, I think it's kind of funny when he says audio tapes because I don't know who listens to cassettes anymore, but when you're listening to any kind of recording, and, you know, it really does spur your creativity, and I really think that it kind of gives you, like, Diane and I are both, I don't know what's happened in the last 2 days with both of us, but it's like we have just been instilled with this happiness and this love and this power and I don't know. Can you describe it, Diane?
Well, a long time.
Wipe those silly grins off our face.
Yeah, a while ago when we read the book Cybernetics, my husband and I kept reading the chapter on winning feeling, and I think that's kind of what we're into right now. Is when you get that winning feeling and you just know it's going to happen, you know, and you just stay with that feeling because. Just the other day here on the weekend, I came upon this, somebody did a video and they were talking about the game of life. And he was trying to tell us, if you take the next 30 days and just pretend and live in that life that you want, then it's just going to happen. And I said to my husband, let's do it. Let's try this in the next 30 days. And I feel like it's just that feeling is there that we're winning, you know, and we're not fearful anymore, and we're just overcoming all that fear, you know?
Yeah. And you know what, you know, just as we were mentioning at the very, very beginning of this topic, you know, don't reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of struck me on Sunday evening, and if you guys haven't watched it, we'll be putting our links up again. But on the Winning Wealth women. I don't know what they've called it now. I keep getting confused. I think it's women wealth.
Winning.
And when Keisha was speaking and stuff, and she makes it a point last week too of write down 10 intentions and say it every day, 3 times a day out loud. And I'm just going to read one of mine because, Diane, it's pretty much in line. I think that God has put the two of us together for such a great purpose because both of us keep going in this same circles of power. But every day, multiple streams of income pour into my bank accounts. eBay, Amazon, I can't mention one, and PayPal. I'm having fun watching my banks grow. And that's what's been happening in the last week. I think I made this statement, and the how just kind of takes care of itself. So over the weekend, I signed up a new person, and I had a couple of sales on eBay, and it was just like, well, there you go. Here I was declaring that on probably Thursday. Was it Thursday that we had to write that out?
Yes, Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah, so it was one of those days, and I think it was from the Thursday one. And look how powerful that was, that in a couple of days, my intention statements, several of them have already come true. So it's power.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention here, too, I have these little, I don't know about people if you read, sometimes if you just pick up a book and it feels so overwhelming to read through that book, I found that if I had these little books, these were some of the first things somebody ever gave to us in the first MLM we were in. I'm not going to mention it. And one of them is the Treasury Quotes of Jim Rohn, and then Zig Ziglar's little book of big quotes. And these have the last 6 years. I think it was just at the time my husband was sobering up, we got these. And I can tell you from personal experience, this has got us through some days. These books, just picking it up and reading these little quotes, and just, it's so inspiring. It's about lifestyle, it's about time management, it's about goals, it's about results. Just say those words and keep them with you for the day. And then John Maxwell, Make Today Count. These little books, if you go to the bookstore, pick one up. Have it beside your bed, or have it in the bathroom if you want. I don't care where. Just have it somewhere where you see it and you can pick it up and read a quote of the day.
Yeah. And do you notice that Diane has all of that stuff right on hand?
Yes.
Yeah, right there within reach. And so do I. I mean, if I was like, these are, and I kind of go back and forth because it's sort of what I feel that day that's going to help me the most. But the two ones that I've been reading is, of course, Power of Focus. I love this book. One of my favorite ones. Another one by Jack Canfield. And the other one that's sitting right beside me is a Dr. Wayne Dyer book. And I love this one, too. It's a little bit, it's a small book, but easy reading. And it's 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. So just kind of whichever God feels leading me. My Bible's not handy. I know Eugenia said that, but I was actually reading it in the other room today when I woke up. So, but you know what? Just what can inspire you? Who can inspire you? And I think like Diane says, if it feels like it's maybe hard for you, you're not ready for that message yet. Okay? I kind of think that when you're reading something and it just, you're going, la, 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 I don't understand that, you're just not ready to accept that yet. So, and even when I choose journaling type of stuff, I like going in and feeling the journals, like I like texture, and is it a nicer leather or whatever, and I actually kind of let God even guide me that way because I want to be on my own personal development something that is going to resonate with me. And I don't know if you guys do that as well, but I do a lot of that even with food, with parenting, with all sorts of things. There's just some times where you just have to be a little bit quiet and let your spirit, the Holy Spirit, guide you into what's acceptable to you right now.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, Jody. I'll just jump out here for 2 seconds. Just accept where you are right now. Be in the presence. And for me, I'll just share this quickly for everybody who's listening. If you could just get and set at the same time every single day, you will find that once you have that habit, it will just grow on you and you will love it. Like I have my devotions every day at the same time. I get up a little bit earlier just to do that, so I'm on my own, because I want to meditate by myself. I don't want my kids screaming or rushing around or my husband in there. I just want to be alone. So if you would find that time and do it every day at the same time, that is powerful.
Absolutely. And I was going to tell you this because yesterday you had, when we were sharing some stuff together, and we were chatting on Facebook, and you're like, oh well, I'm glad I talked to you because I felt like I needed a nap. And then of course what I read today, or I listened to from this healing book, was the fact that, you know what, if your body's telling you you need a nap, you probably need a nap.
Mm.
And what I like about that is that you can even be accepting to, maybe it's not even to sleep. Maybe you just have to lay down for like 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of let everything kind of absorb through. And I think, again, that's listening to your inner body. And the last couple of days, Diane, because I usually get up around 7 o'clock, and the last couple of days, I've just woken up really early. I mean, really early, like 5:30. And for whatever reason, just been totally refreshed, because I gave myself permission last year of healing myself, okay? And the biggest thing, of course, is the migraine headaches and stuff. And I just allowed myself that if I need that extra time to sleep, so I don't set an alarm clock, if I need that extra time to sleep, then I guess it's because my body needs that healing time. And then Diane actually commented on one of the things, why are you up so early? Like, hey, it's nice to see you, but this is so unusual. And I'm like, you know what? I guess it's because God's healing me, and I guess my body doesn't need that sleep right now, you know? And that's what's so wonderful and amazing. And, you know, like, give glory to God, because He really does have your best interest at heart, and He'll guide you to what you need or don't need. So.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The same
Absolutely.
thing has been happening to me, that I've been waking up really early, like 5:30, and I do my 30-30 then, because that's the perfect time for me to have the 30 minutes of listening to
Yeah.
something and 30 minutes of reading. And I've been listening to Deepak Chopra. And as you said, Jody, sometimes you're not quite ready. The first time I heard him on this book, The Seven Laws of the Universe, I just couldn't understand what he was saying. I mean, I guess it was on a deeper level, but now everything is just like, oh, okay, now I understand what you say. I have to go through this process, and then you go to the next level. The same with Tony Robbins when he talks about unleash the giant within you. I love it. I keep listening and listening, and every time I listen, something new pops up. And that has been helping me these past few weeks to put the fear that I had before on the side, to embrace it and say, okay, it's been there for me, but now it's time for you to move. I'm moving on a different path. It's awesome. Thank you, ladies.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. We can be smiling one minute and crying the next. I have big tears. I have no idea why.
That's funny, Jody. My little guy, he's been sick here the last. He has a cold, and he comes, Mommy, the tears are there again. Why are they coming? So when he gets a cold, his eyes are running. My sister was always like that. When she had a cold or something, her eyes were running like crazy. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, honey, you're just healing inside.
That's funny. Now, he does say in here, too, I guess, like Jack Canfield has some places where you can go and, you know, I'm just going to list a couple of people here, because we've actually mentioned most of them that we've been listening to or following. And, you know, some of the top people that he says for motivational giants: Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, Robert Allen, Wayne Dyer, Mark Victor Hansen, and himself. And you know what I think is interesting there? Those are all guys.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of my biggest passions of why I feel that God is leading me to speak and speak out more, is that there are so many amazing women that, because we seem to be more the bees, you know, and maybe those guys would be like the queen bee of the hive. But I really feel that this is a movement. And just when Eugenia was sharing the other day, I know we're a little bit over our time, but you know what? Whatever. We can do what we want, right? And I just remember when Eugenia was even saying last week that she had to move to a different country, you know, as a woman, to be able to really follow God's intentions for her life. And I just feel that for as a woman entrepreneur and moms and you know what we each are stepping into, I just feel that we're just on the cusp for a huge women's movement. I'm not telling you all go burn your bras or anything like that, but I just really feel that God is having this big, wonderful wave of inspired women who, I don't know how to kind of describe it. It's like we're not afraid to get dirty, right? We're not afraid to go into the bathrooms, and God love you, I got 4 of those, and we have 4 boys, so you know, we're not afraid to go into the bathroom and do the cleaning that needs to be done. And I think that that's going to be something that is going to be in the next wave of women leadership, is that we're not afraid to get down and dirty to get the job done. And I love an analogy that my pastor actually used to say years ago, when my first husband and I were going through marriage counseling. And he said, you know what, Jody, you're a Ming vase. He says, and women are these beautiful, beautiful vases that have been delicately shaped and have, you know, God has spent a lot of time designing women, you know, from our hair, our skin. I mean, everything about us is unique. You know, a man's skin is usually more rough and stuff, and a woman's skin is so soft and tender. Our brains think differently, and he says every woman is like the beautiful Ming vase that God has spent so much time creating and designing, and colors and vibrancy. And then he looked at my ex-husband and he said, and you are a bucket. You are a tin bucket that, you know, the slop and dirt and, you know, stuff that gets put into your bucket is what we feed the pigs, right? And I love that his analogy was like, you know what? A woman can do the same thing that a slop bucket can do. However, why would you ever want a woman to carry the slop to feed the pigs? And that's the kind of energy that I feel is welling up within women. Yeah, we can do the pig slop, you know, but God has designed us in such a way that our inspiration and what we're about to come out with in the world is so much different than anything any man has ever seen. So that's just my personal view.
Yeah, that
Wow.
is so true. That is just wow. That's powerful, Jody. And look at
Yeah.
all these powerful women coming forth. I mean, even in our own business, these leaders on the leaderboard, they're like, there's Keisha, there's Valerie, there's Jen, there's so many people that we're following. There's Nicole and Power. There's, look at all these women just flourishing and coming out and having their breakthroughs. This is just, they're just paving the path for us.
Absolutely. Another motivational speaker I listen to is Michelle Singletary. She is deal with
How do you spell that?
finances.
Sorry, who?
Michelle Singletary, Singletary. She's National Syndicate, The Color of Money. She writes a column for the Washington Post, and now the column is in over 100 newspapers. She's written 3 books, and she lives in Maryland. And she has 3 kids and her husband. All of them reside here in Maryland. So she's a up and coming motivational speaker that help you with your finances. She has a lot of YouTube videos out that will help you to get your finances in order. And the information that she provides is so powerful. And if you follow what she gives you, then you will get out of debt. She also has a YouTube video how to do a budget, a Q&A with Michelle. And that is a good YouTube video to watch. It's 43 minutes, but packed full of information. And she also does guest spots on shows that will help you to try to get your finances in order. And she also will do consultations with you to help you to get out of debt, get the plan together to get out of debt soon. But the plan you need to put in place for the 30-day program or something like that. But there's a phone number on her website, and there is additional information out there that you can find out about her. But she's a up
Is
and coming
her website her
motivational
name?
speaker.
Is her
What you say?
website her name, or is it something else?
Um, MichelleSingletary.com.
Okay.
And you can Google her too.
I love Googling.
Yeah, awesome.
I like saying Googling.
I googled the speaker pillow. It's on Amazon, ladies.
Yahoo! Excellent. And you know what? It's kind of funny that Sharon said that with the one lady. And here's a book that I haven't actually read it yet. And it's just sitting up here in my book pile. And, you know, I'm feeling a little bit more that God's going to see me into this. But this one here is called See Jane Lend.
Wow.
And this is by a lady, who, Lois P. Frankel, PhD. And this is actually 99 ways for women to take charge at work. And I think what I got inspired that I bought this book was the fact that at the time that I had bought it, I was in a real crappy job. And I was one of the only women salespeople there, and it was very difficult. I'll say that for it's its own little story and stuff. But I think I had bought that book because, you know, men see, you know, tears as weakness. We see tears as really connecting. And the fact that we as women can go from 1 minute to happiness and to tears, I'm still kind of wiping away some from earlier. But I think that, you know, I don't know. I can't describe what I'm feeling. But it's just the fact that you're feeling everything.
Exactly.
You know, and we shouldn't feel bad about tears because tears are healing.
Yeah. I remember when something that you even said for, I guess we'll end off here shortly. But I remember last week, Diane, that, you know, sometimes being the woman in the house too, because we're the supportive role. So sometimes I don't feel very supported, okay? And it was something going on, and I can't even remember what the circumstance was, something with my husband, and he was a little tad bit grumpy. And Diane had said, you know what, just go and have a good fight, because the fun part's the making up. And, you know, I guess that's the thing with women. I really want us to be in support of each other. And we're going to end on that today because our group here is called the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs. And we are dedicated to helping women just like you, women like all of us here on the panel. We want to help you, and we're dedicated to help you on your journey, on your dream. And maybe you've lost your dream for a while. It happens as women, you know. As soon as we have kids, our hats change, and then as our kids get older, then we're not just you know, the maid and the cook and the cleaner. Then we become a taxi service and stuff like that too. So I just really want to encourage women that step out of that fear zone of being afraid to dream again. Now is the time, and a big movement for women, that we have a great opportunity to dream big, and there are going to be amazing women who are going to be joining in all sorts of different businesses. 79% of women or of new business owners and small businesses are women. Okay, 79%. That's a huge, huge thing. And yet, just like, I mean, this book's a little bit older from Jack Canfield, but I really like to see those women leaders step up and to have it where, you know, it's at least 50-50 or more of women who are now going to be the spokesman for personal development and stepping out in the world. So we thank you guys for joining us today, and we're actually going to be changing up the layout here in the next couple of days. And I believe that we'll be joining tomorrow Keisha Bass, who is going to start an every Wednesday book club. And that's what we're all going to be joining on with that tomorrow. So we will not be here live as a Fearless Online Entrepreneur Group, but we will be joining hers, and we will be posting that so that you guys can follow along, join in the fun, ask questions, and learn to grow you and yourself, your business, your family even more. So take care. Have a great day, guys, and God bless.